What if I told you one of the most powerful airlines on Earth lost over $600 million in just 1 week? No crash, no warning, no technical failure. Just a few invisible lines in the sky. And somehow, those lines were enough to bring Emirates, one of the most premium airlines in the world, to the brink of collapse. So what actually happened, and how did everything fall apart so fast? It started with a sudden escalation. Almost overnight, tensions in the Middle East exploded. Within minutes, entire airspaces began shutting down. First Iran, then Israel, then one by one, countries across the region started closing their skies. Iraq, Jordan, Lebanon. And then things got even worse. Qatar, Bahrain, and Kuwait followed, completely sealing off access across one of the most important aviation corridors on Earth. At first, this didn't seem like a total disaster. Airlines deal with restricted airspace all the time. Flights reroute, plans adjust. But this time it was different. Because this wasn't just a few no-fly zones scattered across the map. This was a wall, a continuous barrier stretching from the Mediterranean all the way to the Persian Gulf. And that barrier cut the world in half. You see, there's a narrow corridor over the Middle East that quietly powers global travel. Every single day, thousands of long-haul flights pass through it, connecting Europe to Asia, Australia, and beyond. It's the shortest path, the fastest route, the most efficient bridge between continents. Remove that bridge and everything starts to break. Flights suddenly have only two options. They either go thousands of kilometers north over Central Asia, or swing far south across the Arabian Sea. Both options add hours to already long flights. And for many routes, that's simply not possible. Aircraft have limits: fuel capacity, crew working hours, weight restrictions. Push those limits too far and the flight can't operate at all. So instead of rerouting, airlines started canceling. And no airline felt that impact faster than Emirates. For decades, Emirates built its entire empire on one idea: bring the world to Dubai. No matter where you start, Europe, Asia, Africa, or Australia, you connect through one central hub. Dubai. It's a system designed for speed and precision. Flights arrive in perfectly timed waves. Passengers transfer quickly. Aircraft refuel, reload, and depart again within hours. It's one of the most efficient systems ever created in aviation. But there's one critical assumption behind it. Everything has to keep moving. The moment that flow stops, the entire system collapses. And that's exactly what happened. Take a simple example. A routine Emirates flight from Moscow to Dubai. Normally, it's a straight path around 5 hours. But with restricted airspace, that route disappears. Instead of flying directly south, the aircraft has to detour across Eastern Europe before looping back toward the Gulf. Suddenly, that 5-hour flight becomes 7. That might not sound like much. But in aviation, 2 extra hours is massive. Because those extra hours mean more fuel. A lot more fuel. For large aircraft, that can mean an additional 20 to 25 tons. And fuel isn't cheap. That extra load alone can cost tens of thousands of dollars per flight. But here's the real problem. Planes can't just carry unlimited fuel. Every aircraft has a strict maximum takeoff weight. So if you add more fuel, something else has to go. Cargo gets removed. Baggage gets reduced. Sometimes even passengers. So now Emirates is paying significantly more to operate each flight, while earning less from it. And when you multiply that across dozens or even hundreds of flights per day, the losses grow incredibly fast. But that was only the beginning. Because as more airspace shut down, even these long detours stopped being possible. Flights weren't just delayed anymore. They were cancelled entirely. Aircraft were grounded. And revenue disappeared almost instantly. Under normal conditions, Emirates generates roughly $90 million every single day. But when flights stop, that number drops close to zero. The problem is costs don't stop. Aircraft still need maintenance. Leases still have to be paid. And salaries for tens of thousands of employees continue. So every single day the disruption continued. The airline was just burning money. By the end of the first week, estimated losses had already passed $600 million. And while the financial damage was severe, What was happening on the ground was even more chaotic. Dubai's airport is built for movement, not storage. Everything is designed around speed. Planes land, unload, refuel, and depart again as quickly as possible. But now, flights were arriving late or not at all. Connections were being missed. Schedules were collapsing. And suddenly, the airport started to clog. Aircraft that should have been gone within an hour were sitting on taxiways waiting for gates. But there weren't enough gates, because the system was never designed for planes to just sit there. Within hours, space started running out. And the disruption didn't stay inside the airport. It spilled into the city. Thousands of passengers were stranded. Transit travelers who were never supposed to enter Dubai suddenly needed hotels, food, and rebooking. Estimates suggest over 20,000 passengers were stuck in the first wave alone. What was once the world's most efficient travel hub had turned into a massive bottleneck. And this is where a bigger question starts to emerge. Because this crisis didn't just expose a temporary problem, it exposed a fundamental weakness. For years, Dubai has been building something even bigger. A new mega airport. A project designed to handle over 200 million passengers per year. Aviation on a scale the world has never seen before. The idea is simple. Make Dubai the center of global travel. Even bigger, even more efficient. But there's one problem that no amount of infrastructure can solve. Geography. Dubai sits in a region where airspace can become unstable. And if those disruptions become more frequent, then relying entirely on one central hub becomes risky. Because a mega hub only works if planes can reach it. If they can't, the entire system falls apart. And Emirates knows this. Which is why, quietly, the airline has already started changing its strategy. For years, Emirates relied heavily on massive aircraft. Planes designed to carry as many passengers as possible through a single hub. But now, they're shifting towards something different. Smaller, more flexible aircraft. Planes that can fly long distances with fewer passengers. This opens up new possibilities. Instead of routing everyone through Dubai, airlines can connect cities directly. Less dependence on one hub. More flexibility when disruptions happen. It's not a complete transformation, but it's a sign that Emirates is adapting. Because the reality is clear. The world is changing. Airspace is becoming less predictable. And the shortest path between 2 points is no longer guaranteed. Emirates will likely survive this crisis. It has the financial strength, the government backing, the experience. But it won't come out the same. Because this moment revealed something critical. The very geography that made Emirates powerful can also become its greatest vulnerability. And in a world where the skies can close overnight, that vulnerability changes everything.